If you've been keeping your hair for years and it's still stuck on a particular length, then this video is for you. The issue you are having is length retention. And now I'm going to break down what length retention is and the things you need to do or you're possibly doing that is making your hair being stuck on that particular place. Hey guys, you're welcome. I'm DJ again, and please have a seat and let's get right into today's video. Like I said, if you know that your hair length is stuck on a particular length, probably on your shoulder, or it does not go past a certain point, here is what you need to do. Number one, you need to trim off split ends. People do not know they have split ends. What are split ends? Split ends are those tiny unequal parts of the ends of your hair that is the tip of your hair that you have, and you need to take them out. They are not supposed to be there. They need to go, unless they are going to split upwards and destroy the other parts of your hair. Now, one thing is, when you have split ends, when you experience split ends, you would also possibly experience breakage. But split ends are not good for you. They will cause breakage on your hair. They would not allow your hair grow properly. So trim them off only if you have split ends. On the other hand, even if you don't have split ends, it is important that once in a while you dust off the edges of the ends of your hair so that you prevent it from having split ends. This does not mean that you have to trim your hair every single time. I trim my hair like maybe once in a year or once in 6 months, at times even once in a year and a half. It really just depends on if I notice that my end needs to be dusted. So don't allow peer pressure or push you to go and trim off good part of your hair. Okay. Number two, moisturizing products. Now, when it comes to length retention, the very good thing with it is that you need to keep your hair moisturized. There's a reason why you're not retaining length, and that is because you are experiencing hair breakage. As long as the new growth is coming and this old growth is going off, it's going to remain on the same length. So the whole point and the goal is maintain the length of the hair so that this end part, they are not breaking off, so that the new one that is coming will be adding to the length. A very good example is, you have a log of wood. I'm chopping off the down part and you're adding more to the top. It's going to remain the same length because this down part keeps going. But imagine if you keep adding more logs of wood to it and then this down still remains, it is going to become longer. Basically, that's the whole mathematics behind this whole thing. So your hair keeps growing, but this end part keeps breaking off. So work towards this end part not breaking off and remaining the way it is, maintaining it. And that can only work if you constantly moisturize your hair. The number one enemy to your hair breaking is because your hair is dry. It is not moisturized. If you've not watched my moisturizing video, I think I will tag it somewhere here. Go and watch it, and why your hair is still dry even after moisturizing, and how to properly moisturize your hair. It is very, very important that you make use of moisturizing products. Your shampoo should be moisturizing. I know you make use of clarifying shampoo, but that should not be your basic shampoo. That should be a shampoo used once in a while. Basically, I don't even really make use of clarifying shampoo. Yep, I'm guilty of that, I know. But moisturizing shampoo has held me by the throat. I mostly make use of scalp scrubs, right? So I think that still works and still clarifies my scalp one way. It exfoliates it one way or the other. So, but if you know you need a clarifying shampoo, get a clarifying shampoo, make use of it, but it should not be frequently used. What you should frequently and comfortably use is a moisturizing shampoo. Get a deep conditioner, get a leave-in conditioner, seal with oil and butter, or seal with oil or butter, your choice. But make sure you make use of moisturizing products and you seal in properly. That way you're going to experience less breakage and you are going to be able to retain length. Number three is let your hair rest. The whole journey of length retention is that you should allow your hair rest. I know the hair is shocking you to be packing. I want my hair to get to Didi's hair, so I'll be able to style it however. If your hair gets to where my hair is, you'll be tired to style the hair. Don't allow anybody deceive you. Me that the only style is to pack it in bun. Kiniko. You will get tired and it's even harder to maintain. Let me just put it out to you. So be careful for what you wish for. Anyways, long hair is nice, enjoyable, and it's just a whole vibe. So, but that whole I'm going to pack my hair, I'm going to do this, and you're dealing with your short hair, is not advisable. You are disturbing your scalp. You're not even allowing it to rest to produce hair wave. You are stressing it. So some of you will be doing tight hair. We'll get to that tight hair part in the next point. But what I'm just saying is that let your hair rest. Once you do whatever thing you need to do to the hair, do your protective style. It could be jumbo twist, it could be mini twist. Get it done before you take down the hair. Wait till like a month or 2 months. In the period of that time, you can wash your hair, still deep condition it. Over time, I promise you, in like a year, you'll be shocked of how long your hair has gotten to. In all, let your hair rest. The 4th point is protective styles. Now, these protective styles in 2 ways, and I'm going to break it in A and B. Number one, protective styles. First of all, you need to do protective styles like I earlier mentioned: twist, cornrows, braids, sew-ins, wig buns, and stuff like that. These are all protective styles, right? As long as your hair is resting and your hair is not pulled in a very terrible way, then it's protecting your hair. But if it has gone past 2 months and you see on your head, it's not protecting anything again, or if there is any pulling on your scalp, that's the big part of the protective style I want to talk about. A protective style is not protecting your hair if it is pulling on your hair. I'm going to tag a video up there where I talked about how terrible your protective styles are and why it's not protecting your hair. So I'm not going to go into details too much in this video, so the video is not too long. But your protective styles, number one is that it should not be too tight. There is so much terrible impact tight hair has on your scalp, and that's because it's going to injure your scalp. Your scalp is going to have so many injuries. So basically your scalp is going to be sick at that point. Your follicles will not be able to produce hair because of how tight it is, because of the pressure that you've put on the scalp. So the time it's going to take to recover, I say this over and over and over again, is the time that your hair is supposed to use to produce new hair and keep your hair going. But it will pause and it will try to regain its consciousness because you made it unconscious. You sent it into coma. So please be careful with how tight your hair is. Over time, if you will lose your hairline, some of us, our own hairline going is even already here. So imagine if you're not gonna do tight protective hair so that it's pulling the hair back. Our hair will not get here and start from here. You'll not be sending me message that, hey, my front hair has gone. No. When you were doing the Ghana weave and you were doing packing G and necking, you did not know. When you're busy doing ponytail, you didn't know. It is important that your protective styles are not tight so that they don't cause too much pressure on your scalp, and so that your scalp can actually produce stronger, thicker, and healthier hair. So in as much as you're doing your twist and all other good protective styles, choose the right protective styles again. Secondly, do not make it too tight. If you've gotten to this part of this video, I forgot to mention, do not forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know where you're watching from. The last one is making use of ayurvedic herbs. So ayurvedic herbs are really natural herbs that help strengthen, and people use it medically, people use it for medicines and so many other things, but it also helps with hair growth. So if you don't have thick hair, or your follicles are in distress, or your scalp has so many issues, ayurvedic herbs can really help. Ayurvedic herbs helps to strengthen your hair. It helps to promote hair growth. It keeps your scalp healthy, and it helps to prevent breakage also. Depending on how you make use of all these herbs, they can serve different purposes for your hair. They can also sort out dandruff, itching scalp, and some herbs are also proven to kill lice. Yes. If you look at the Asian women, and you also look at especially the Asian women, they make use of herbs a lot, also for their health and also for their hair. So ayurvedas are something that you should actually put into your hair care routine, because it will really help you sort out a lot of hair issues that you're actually facing. Herbs like cloves, fenugreek, fennel, cinnamon, amla, chebe, and so many other herbs. I can't really think of so many of them right now. Rosemary. These are herbs that you should put into your routine. Some of them are strengthening herbs. Some of them are strengthening and thickening herbs. Antifungal and antioxidant herbs. Some of them also serve different purposes. So depending on what you want to do. Take for instance, if you are experiencing itching scalp, or you're having scalp issues, one herb I'll recommend to you, or one plant or one thing I'll recommend to you, is onion. Onion juice really helps to sort out scalp issues, itching, dandruff. You should actually make use of onion. You can also make use of tea tree. So these herbs, they would help in different areas of your life. Peppermint to also help too. So with that being said, make research about ayurvedic herbs. Try out different ayurvedic herbs. See the ones your hair are reacting badly to. See the ones that your hair love, and stick to it. Okay. I discovered what worked for me, which is clove, cinnamon, rosemary, fenugreek. This worked so well for my hair, and I decided to stick to those ones. Now I started producing hair products, and most of my oils have all these nutrients in it, so I don't necessarily have to start doing all my mixture separately again, because my conditioners, my shampoo, my oil already has a bit of these herbs in it. So my hair is still getting the benefits of the herbs. If you know you want your hair to thicken up very well, just make use of ayurvedic herbs. My hair has always been the shortest and the most scantiest of hairs in the house, but over time, when I discovered this whole thing and I started making use of them, here we are. Okay, the hair speaks for itself. Am I lying? Clock it. Yeah. Anyways, we've come to the end of today's video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and let me know if I'm going to make a different video about these herbs and talk about them later on. And when I do, I really do hope that you see it. right? But in order to see that you need to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. So please do that so that you'll be notified when I upload that particular video. Thank you so much for staying. Again, do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. See you guys in my next video. Bye.